Sims Complete, part of the Believe Sports Network, brought to you by FanDuel. Big Full is excited. He's got a lot to talk about. He's got some stuff on his mind. And Big Guy, unfortunately, let's start with our Giants talk. All right. As soon as we get this off the books, then we can get into all the other things that you're actually excited about talking. But the Giants fall short to the Minnesota Vikings 16-13 in this matchup. And I guess just big picture, right? Let's just talk about it. Giants just. What are you thinking, man? I know one thing. Brian Burns is the man. He's still that dude. So
yeah,
we got a superstar defensive end in Brian Burns. You know, with this strip sack that led to the Tyler Nubin touchdown, the only touchdown for us throughout the game. Your thoughts about the Giants and Jackson Dart and just the state of their franchise at the moment?
It was truly one of the worst games I've ever watched.
Wow,
man, was that bad? Wasn't it bad? It just, you know. I don't even really know. First off, for quarterbacks around the whole NFL, you know, when you're under center, they got this thing that you can see, and it's called the clock. And it tells you how much time you have before it's going to be a delay of game. It's an epidemic. Everybody like, oh, shoot, I didn't see it down there. Well, you're trying to call 6 plays and make sure you're in the perfect, send the guy in motion. Oh, my, it drives me crazy. I mean, I don't know. And this is probably not true. I don't think I ever had a delay a game. Of course, we didn't have kill that play, kill everything, come in motion. How about Aaron Rodgers? What the hell are you doing?
Right.
That was funny. But yeah, it was just, it had no life for the Giants. And I'm not going to go into, when I played, but some player on the team, some coach has to have an emotional outburst there somewhere. Right. To get somebody to wake up. And you're right. Brian Burns, once again, he's turned out to be one of the best signings in the NFL from last year to this year, just doing great. And Abdul Carter, I had somebody there tell me, well, if we put him over the nose, you can't block him. And I go, well, hell, why? Well, let's see it more.
That's right.
Yeah. But it was very disappointing. And it wasn't like they were playing a team that was going to put up 50 points. And all you had to do is have a little emotion and just get the crowd involved, whatever. So that's all I can say. I don't want to get too personal with some of my thoughts, but.
Yeah. I mean, I think what you're saying too is that you would just like to see a little bit more of a player-led football team going forward, right? Especially to close out this season. And of course, we know that the team has its issues, right? Has its challenges that it has ahead of them. And still, that being said, hey, we know, they know, 2-13, okay, but still, to be at home and for them to look the way that they did, for Jackson Dart seems like he's a little bit out on his feet. Doesn't seem like he has quite the same amount of energy that he once had. And yeah, this team really is, I just think, falling for playing the victim a little bit here at this point in the year. And it's like, listen, we know you're bad. It's okay. We get it. Go out there and play hard. And that's where I give a lot of credit to, Mike McDaniels and just what they're doing down there in Miami. It's like, hey, I know Miami's not a good football team, but at least they've strung together a few games and have played hard. And, they at least they've been hustling. They've been kicking ass that way, at least.
Yeah.
So I don't know for the Giants right now, just not a great sign overall. I mean, your thoughts too, Big Guy, about JJ McCarthy, how he looked in the game before he left with an apparent hand injury. The x-rays were negative. Still remains to be seen whether or not there was some sort of ligament damage with an MRI. We'll find out more about that going forward. But oddly enough, I actually thought Max Brosmer looked just as polished as J.J. McCarthy did in just his second appearance in the season. So it's a strange circumstance even for the team who won yesterday in the Minnesota Vikings.
Well, yeah, Brosmer did a really good job. I mean, and I'm sure he's been coached well, and he did exactly what he didn't take any chances. Played it when it came to him. He made a couple little things in there, ran, I think, once or twice. I didn't even look at to see how many times he ran, but he wasn't going to take any chances.
Right.
That's the right thing to do because the Minnesota defense was winning the battle against the Giant offense. So you don't press certain things. You play according to the score. Yeah. And so there, J.J. McCarthy, he did some nice stuff. The touchdown run was really good. You'd like to see more of those runs from him. But my one negative is this. Routine plays. We don't hit enough of them. And he throws it way too hard on short passes sometimes.
Right.
And so just think about it. It's a short pass and you throw it hard. Well, now the chances of having a mistake by the pass catcher are bigger. It's got to be perfect. If it's not, if they got to reach for it and you throw it as hard as he can throw it, it goes incomplete. So, but overall, I thought J.J. McCarthy had a little life to him, was doing a good job. And I was disappointed when he couldn't come in and finish the game because I want to see him play to go along with that defense, to go along with the head coach and try to see what we got. We how many weeks are we going to say this? We got 2 left.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So that's whatever.
Yeah, no, I mean, you're right. It's just there's still a lot of question marks going into this offseason, I think, for both of these teams, of course, and for the Minnesota Vikings, especially because of how successful they were a year ago with Sam Darnold and just really haven't gotten the extended viewpoint of their future franchise quarterback in J.J. McCarthy and what he has to offer this football team. So disappointing game for the New York Giants, a good win for the Minnesota Vikings, now improving to 7-8 on the season. Wasn't always pretty. Aaron Jones, Tyrone Tracy, both running backs, I thought had a pretty solid day on the ground. And that was also perplexing, too, by the New York Giants. It seemed like when they did get success running the football, all of a sudden they seemed to kind of get away from those type of runs that were effective. So, listen, just tough season for them. And now there's nothing else for us to break down. We're just going to move forward, right? So this is Sims Complete on the Believe Sports Network, brought to you by FanDuel. Let's keep it moving now. Let's talk about another quarterback, right, who also had big question marks, right, going into this season as far as is he the franchise guy and all that. And here they are at 8-7 in the NFC South. Bryce Young, 21 of 32, 191, 2 touchdowns, plays extremely well in a must-have-it game within the division against the Tampa Bay Bucks. Big guy, your thoughts on Dave Canales and Bryce Young and their performance yesterday against the Tampa Bay Bucks?
You know, I look at them and just go, wow, they're getting close. In other words, they're putting it out there every week where you got to worry about both sides of the ball. They got a few playmakers on defense. That probably needs more. But for Bryce Young, man, he's smooth as hell. His movement is he moves to throw, so he doesn't panic when he moves, and I got to run with the football. No, he's looking for somebody open down the field. I think he's been accurate throwing the football. His arm, there were times last year I said, man, he doesn't have enough arm to be a big-time starting quarterback. But that's changed. And it's not like he throws Josh Allen or whoever you want to put up there, missiles down the field. But it's got great touch. It does have enough speed on it to get to where it needs to go. And overall, I mean, Matt, the damn guy has smiled more in the last couple of weeks than he smiled for 2 years. Yeah. And you can see it in his face, which we're going to talk about other guys. You can see it now. Hey, I feel it. I know how to play this damn NFL game. Right. And I think Bryce Young is right at the top of all that. Very impressed. And Dave Canales, he's turning it around. I would say this, Carolina, you're fighting for be in the playoffs. Get your butts in the seats and let's raise some hell. I mean, I don't know. Maybe there was something wrong with my TV because I didn't hear the fans down there. So, oh, well, that's just another pet peeve of mine. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm with you. But, Bryce Young, just I think the way that the team has been structured and how they're doing is fantastic. And there's my little girl.
Excuse me. Oh, she come. Oh, she just came right in here. She's just got over. Hi, Illinois. All right, here we go. Sorry, man. She ran in here and wanted to get up there. She heard Daddy talking.
That's right.
All right, go ahead. Sorry.
It's all right. It's all right. So Bryce Young, I think just for Dave Canales and the crew, right, they just have a great recipe for success right now. It is led by that defense and their corners playing fantastic. Lathan Ransom getting an interception, the young man out of Ohio State. He's been making some big-time plays. Nick Scott as well out of the secondary. Of course, like you mentioned, Derek Brown and what he's been doing for this football team. So these next few weeks are really big time for the Carolina Panthers, and they got the Seattle Seahawks now coming all the way across the country to play against. So Tampa Bay, they got the Miami Dolphins before they both see each other for their rematch. If they can pull off an upset, the Carolina Panthers over the Seahawks, man, I mean, that is just going to be something special. But it does look like right now the NFC South is going to come down to that last division matchup between the Panthers and the Bucks in Tampa Bay. And it's going to be fascinating because Tampa Bay just has not looked like the same team that we saw, I feel like even in mid-November, it just seems like they kind of started to fall apart, right? So big win for the Carolina Panthers at home. Now, Big Eye, you
now, let me say this.
Go ahead.
Last year, I was told by somebody at Carolina, I don't think we got our guy yet. Okay,
right.
This is like mid-season. Oh, I don't think we got our guy. And it's just, you just go, wow, man, that's just incredible. We're making these decisions so fast, and they have these young quarterbacks. It's just right away. You got to play great. But him to overcome it, because he knows that. He heard all the whispers or whatever too. So just give a little great job by Bryce Young. So sorry. Move on.
Yeah. Absolutely. So, Big Eye, you wanted to talk about a few quarterbacks that you think have really kind of caught your eye and really have impressed you this past week. And really, these are quarterbacks, too, that are fighting for playoff spots and weeks to come. So, big picture-wise, just who are some guys that have really caught your eye recently that you want to talk about?
Well, let's do this. Just because it's fresh in my mind, is the Chicago Bears and the Green Bay Packers. Watching that game once again. Caleb Williams, come on, he's a freak. Again, he might not be the guy that can surgically just do nickel dime you, but I know this: he can get away from everything, and he can sure stroke that damn ball down the field. And so that's one big one. On the other side, Jordan Love, he's been playing, I think, solid. But I want to talk about Malik Willis when he came into the game, and I've told this to many people. When I saw him down at Tennessee in preseason last year, I go, what happened? It was unbelievable, right? You and I talked about this.
Yeah.
And, everybody goes, well, why are you watching preseason football? Because I want to see some of these quarterbacks. And I saw a totally different guy. Reading, standing in the pocket, throwing the ball with great accuracy and all that. When he came in the game the other night, we were sitting down in the TV room, Matt, and I said, oh, Malik Willis. Wait till you see this. It's exactly what I said, because I'm thinking he's going to just pick up where he left off, and he did. Threw the ball well, moves well, good decision maker. And see, Tennessee had their franchise quarterback. They just couldn't look and see who in the hell it was. So they drafted Cam Ward. Okay, that's been pretty good too. But your thoughts about Malik Willis? I don't think I'm overstating it. He's a starting NFL quarterback.
I mean, he's definitely proved himself as one of the better backups in the NFL, right? And I think that's the biggest thing, is that the offense doesn't seem to take a few steps back, right? Or doesn't seem to be held back by his presence being in the starting lineup. And if anything, it seems like there's some extra wrinkles added to the offense when he's in there, and his ability to run and scramble and make plays with his legs. He is fearless that way. So, Malik Willis has done a fantastic job of earning the right to be a trusted backup in this league. And you're right, he is slowly earning that right to maybe a team taking a chance on him and saying, hey, let's give this guy a year or two to see if he could be our franchise guy for going forward, because he has a strong arm. He is athletic. He is strong in the pocket. And he's really improved just his overall football IQ and decision-making as he continues to play. So Matt LaFleur's did a great job of inserting him into that offense and making it work for both parties.
Yeah, it's interesting. You got to hang in there sometimes as a quarterback. He hung in there, and look, he was playing so good. Why did he get traded? Because they wanted to kind of make Will Levis not have this guy that the fans are starting to say, why don't we play Malik Willis? So he was traded for a reason, not because of poor play on his part, because they were trying to, make the quarterback room the way you want it. You don't want controversy always in there. So
listen, they were a bad team. They had a lot of quarterbacks. They needed to get rid of some of them, and Malik Willis was the odd man out. That's really what it comes down to. They gave Will the shot, and unfortunately for him, he stubbed his toe on it. And now it's Cam Ward's show. And the good thing for them, Cam Ward has really done some fantastic things these past few weeks, and has really shown that, he is definitely someone that you could build this franchise around, because his skill is legit. He's made some great throws. He's learned how to play the game, and just kind of adjust to just not every play has to be the play. And this last game was really his best performance, I think, of the season. So credit to him and that coaching staff too for fighting through it, because it hasn't been easy for him.
by playing, I guess, a little more settled down and not like he's, at the University of Miami and he's just going to freelance it and throw a rocket somewhere, which you could do. Now it just seems like slowly he's calming down and he's like, oh, he really is open. Instead of trying to make these great throws, don't do that. You got a 10% chance on that throw.
Yeah.
Check it down for 10 or whatever it is. That's what he wasn't doing. And he's making good decisions, Matt, and being accurate with the football. He's accurate because he's making better decisions.
Right.
And not just letting it go all over the place. So good for him. That was a really good outing. Caught most of the throws, watched it, and he just looked more stable. I thought he, threw the ball with the right speed to it where it was easy to catch. And I think 3 or 4 weeks ago, I sat here and I said, Cam Ward, your only duty this week is don't throw an interception. Right?
Yeah.
You remember that? Yeah. And I'm not saying we had anything to do with it, but all of a sudden my man is not throwing a lot of interceptions. So great for him. Tennessee, it's late in the year. They're seeing the progress. They got to be feeling pretty good about the future now that this guy is just going to keep improving.
Yeah, they absolutely have to be. And, and there's 3-1 in the last 4 games for him. Basically a 2-to-1 or 3-to-1, touchdown to interception ratio for him. So, hey, making the progress that he needs to make. And we know, just like with Caleb Williams, we know the ability that they have, right? And what's great about for Cam Ward, we've seen him now adapt to this NFL style of ball, and that's with a franchise that is, let's just say, hey, they're all over the place too, right? They got a lot going on, right? With the firing of their head coach and everything like that. So for him to make that progress with all that stuff going on behind the scenes is really impressive. And for Caleb Williams, the same regard, except his franchise is set in stone now with their leadership. There is no question about it. Ben Johnson is not going anywhere for a long time if he continues to coach this football team the way that he has. And Caleb Williams becoming a polished NFL quarterback and, looking good under center, the play action passes, right? All these elaborate deep play action passes that made Ben Johnson and Jared Goff so successful. Caleb Williams has the ability to do those things and then some with the stuff that he can add outside the pocket and his strength and athleticism. And of course, hey, he's not playing perfect, but man, when he is on it, he is one of the most dynamic quarterbacks in the league right now. So you got to think that as he continues to refine and polish his style of game, and Ben Johnson's still learning how he manages and gets better at that, Chicago Bears and Caleb Williams, scary right now with what they're doing.
Yeah, listen, I'm not a numbers guy. I don't look every week to see who's QBR. Oh my God, I can't believe I said QBR. But to see I don't need to see it. I watch the game and the stats don't bear out how well they play sometimes. A lot of times.
Right.
And I think with Caleb Williams, he's not going to be a 68% completion guy. Why? Because he's not throwing check downs and throwing 7 screens and throwing it to the running back and all. Man, he's honking that thing down the field.
Right.
And his movement prolongs plays. And, we talk about sometimes, did you see when he ran, he made that completion? But overall, when he breaks the pocket and is running towards the sidelines, what's he hitting? 30% of those passes, maybe, whatever, so the stats lie a lot of times with these quarterbacks, and they sure lie for him. And man, he's got an energy, his explosiveness, throwing the ball. He misses some guys high. We've said that he's Nolan Ryan. We're going to miss. It's not all strikes coming down there. And when he misses, it's always high, which, can be a problem. I've always said when you throw it over a receiver's head, usually there's somebody waiting for it, and that means you got to go make a tackle. But Caleb Williams, the offense they're running, the energy of the team, the energy that he has, the confidence, his interviews after games, man, they're right on they're spot on. And of course, I would say this, Ben Johnson, it wouldn't hurt to do a few push-ups and a couple curls before you take your shirt off each time. But you know what I mean? Okay.
Yeah.
But that is wild. I think everybody, are you surprised? His actions, we never saw that in Detroit, but it was in him, and he's letting it all come out now. So it's great.
Yeah. Well, now, of course, in Detroit, he's an assistant, so his role is to be the next guy in line, right?
Yeah.
And to stay in his lane. And now that it's his own lane, right? Now that he is the only guy there, it's really fun to see just his real personality show out, and why I think so many of the guys there in Detroit really, really did love and appreciate this guy and what he brought to the table, because clearly he was carrying himself that exact same way in offensive meeting rooms. We just didn't see it right on a national scale like we're seeing it with his team meetings now with the Chicago Bears and the post game stuff. So yeah, it's pretty special. They got a lot of good stuff going for them, and hey man, they're a tough football team. It's going to be a tough matchup for a lot of teams going forward. So the Bears have a lot of things going for them, and a young skill group as well too around Caleb Williams, and some young offensive linemen too to go with it that are still in their rookie contract. So a lot of good pieces in Chicago.
Matt, the energy that game had, Green Bay and Chicago, it was almost like, whoa, man, they really are hitting. It was really physical.
Right.
And it was evident that they do not like each other. What a shock. We knew that. Yeah. But I think the head coaches are even making it, their little scrap or whatever, it's just making it even more intense. And there were times it's cold weather and they're hitting. I was going, oh my gosh, it's like going through me.
Yeah.
They were letting it go. So that was a fun watch.
It definitely was.
What do you think here? There's a couple. One. First off, Aaron Rodgers. Let's do a quick one on Aaron Rodgers. What do you think about his performance and play?
Yeah, I thought Aaron Rodgers played extremely well. Maybe the best game that he played in the entire season against Detroit in the Dome there. And I just think that the identity of the offense now is it's been solidified. And I think finally, Aaron Rodgers has kind of bought into a little bit of the Arthur Smith and Mike Tomlin thought process of Aaron, let's run the football. Let's be patient with our rushing. Let's not throw your 15 screen passes at the line of scrimmage to help your completion percentage. Let's just call it and haul it and let Jaylen Warren and Kenneth Gainwell wear out the defense. And that's where I feel like I see just the offensive line's been kicking butt, the running game, the scheme. They were just gashing the Detroit Lions in that defensive front. Very impressed. Jaylen Warren, home run hitter. Kenneth Gainwell is probably the best offense. He might be the best player on their team, honestly, in a lot of ways, which is how impactful he is. Because even that one catch that he had, stumble into the ground, it's press coverage, fights through the corner, falling down, catches it on the ground, gets up, runs for a touchdown. He's just been making plays, it seems like, every single week for this football team. So Jaylen Warren and Kenneth Gainwell, the 1-2 punch right now for the Pittsburgh Steelers, really helping out Aaron Rodgers do his thing extremely well.
Aaron Rodgers is letting it go. I mean,
that's true.
Man, he let about 5 of them go, and the spin of the ball and the power. I mean, I'd love to one day. I don't know if I can hang in there this long, but when he's 70, let me just see if you can still do it. He probably can.
Right.
I mean, he just has such great arm action and hand action, and he's got the biggest damn longest fingers I've ever seen on a quarterback. But man, he takes advantage of it. And, Pittsburgh got the ball down the field more, Matt, which,
right.
We wanted to see. It wasn't all those checkdowns. And it seemed like Aaron Rodgers was really enjoying that. I don't know if he was enjoying it, but it seemed to fit him really well. And so maybe that's a breakthrough. We'll see if it carries on for the next couple games for him. But I was impressed with the play calling, some of the designs of plays, and I was especially impressed with Aaron Rodgers. I thought his energy on the field and leadership and all that, I kind of saw that too. Saw more of his personality, which was really cool to see it.
Yeah, it's good to see that they built off of the stuff they did against the Miami Dolphins, and where we said that exact same thing. It was good to see them pressing the football vertically up the seam a little bit more aggressively, utilizing his great skill set, not playing so laterally. And 2 weeks in a row now, right, against Miami, now the Detroit Lions with the rushing attack, with the vertical passing attack. It's a different offense. It's a different feel. And then it helps the defense as well. And the defense did a great job of holding Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery to, it seemed like, I want to say 30 yards rushing in this football game. So who would have thought that in this football game, the Pittsburgh Steelers would have outgained Sonic and Knuckles for Detroit in this one with Jaylen Warren and Kenneth Gainwell. But just kind of goes to show you the state of affairs really for both franchises currently at the moment. So who are some other QBs you want to talk about?
I got a couple. We'll do this real quick. Let's see. Let's go to the game that was pretty exciting. Jacksonville out in Denver.
Pretty exciting, yeah.
Yeah, it had a lot to it. I wrote
Yeah.
down, let me just see here. This is for the guy that, what was the phrase everybody used when Trevor Lawrence was coming out? Once in a generational talent.
Right.
Okay. I can't believe I remembered it, but it is starting to show. It took a few years. Again, you think coaching's not important? New coach, new player. Wow.
Right.
I mean, it really, you see it. And I just wrote down, I watched the game, real quick, all of his throws and everything. I see he was tough. He had great energy. He was emotional on the field, which really I loved seeing. Strong. He is a big, strong dude. And, it was personal almost. He was determined. He was fighting. And that's what you need, those kind of games. But his arm, his heart, you can see how much it means to him now. I don't know if we've seen this in the past. And of course, his talent, come on. It's big time talent, no doubt.
It is.
That was a great, just him. Bo Nix, lots of good things about him too.
Yeah.
He's another one. He's not looking up there to see his completion percentage because damn, do they throw it down the field a lot.
Yeah.
And, so those are quick thoughts. Those two guys, two good teams with two quarterbacks that have everything invested in what they're doing. And that's why they're can't miss, TV now, just to watch them play.
Yeah, agree. And I feel like for Trevor Lawrence, it really happened a few weeks ago. The start of their winning streak when they beat Arizona on the road. He threw 3 interceptions in that game, but you and I both walked away from that game thinking, okay, this is a different Trevor Lawrence we're seeing in this game. We saw the interceptions. We didn't care, but we felt like the throwing, the way they were attacking defense, and the way that he was playing, there was something different about it. Then they rip off a few extra wins after that. The Chargers, when they're all banged up, a few other teams that stink, of course, like the Jets were mixed in there. So it's like, all right, how legit were they? And then here they are, national stage against the Denver Broncos, the hottest team in the NFL. And, listen, Trevor Lawrence balled out. He really did. And the movement, the throw and the run he made onto the left as he's full sprint, throwing it back across his body, that was fantastic. Parker Washington was phenomenal. That was the question mark I had, is just like, I like the Jaguars skill group. Could they get open against the Denver Broncos secondary consistently? Well, everybody tried to cover Parker Washington yesterday for the Denver Broncos, and everybody lost. Whether it was Jaquan McMillan, whether it was Riley Moss, Jahdae Barron had an opportunity, and Parker Washington just tore up all 3 of them. It didn't matter who it was. And, that's where you got to think for the Jaguars. Brian Thomas, 2 catches. Brenton Strange had 5. Jacoby Myers was impactful, but then you got Parker Washington doing his thing, and he was the explosive guy there. So they got a mixture of skill guys that are tough to match up with, depending on who you're putting your focus on. But ultimately, it does go back to Trevor Lawrence, Liam Cohen, and just, hey, Liam's a tough dude. You can tell just by the way he carries himself. Like, he's ready for a bar fight, right? And so is their defensive coordinator, and now so is their quarterback. And I think for Trevor Lawrence, like you were saying earlier, Trevor Lawrence lost 2 games his entire career before he got to the NFL. So, he understands adversity, but I don't think he really had the adversity that some other players endure throughout their careers to get to the NFL, right? Yeah. And now that's no fault of his own, but still he had to go through a lot here to get to this iteration of the Jacksonville Jaguars franchise. He survived to this point. And at the beginning of the year, everyone was saying, well, why'd they pay him? Well, you know what? Here it is. It's coming to fruition now. He is that dude, and he is absolutely balling out and playing some great football for them.
Yeah, just this. When he came out of college, you and I, we all watched the tape. So it was a very simple offense. They had great success. They won a national championship, all these things. So why would he be on edge about the NFL? Well, it can't be that much harder, And then he found out, it's not only harder, it's different. The coaching your rookie year was horrendous, but, let's blame the quarterback. But slowly it's been coming a little bit. But you said it, Liam Cohen. I mean, come on. I like watching him on the sidelines. He's always mad. I mean, isn't he? I mean, he's bitching at somebody, the ref or whatever, and he doesn't hold the sheet in front of his mouth when he's having a little temper tantrum, which is great too. So let's see what else. How about this one? Kirk Cousins. I know it's over for Atlanta. Kirk Cousins, I mean, I think they're going to have, what are they going to do here? Because he's really playing well, and he's entirely healthy. He definitely, his arm came back, all that, fought through it. Just wanted to bring it up. I watched that game too in the afternoon and just was going, yeah, they're losing, but I can already tell Kirk's going to lead them to the victory here. It's going to happen. And it kind of worked out just like that. He made the plays when he had to. He looked strong as hell, so I don't know. What just give me a quick thought on Kirk if you saw it.
I would agree with what you said, right? It's just that, he maybe needed a little bit more extra time to finally get his feet back underneath him from the torn Achilles. And now we're seeing the Kirk Cousins that we kind of remembered seeing there in Minnesota with his success. So it was good to see that leadership, and, good win for the Atlanta Falcons, improving to 6-9 after this game. The Arizona Cardinals finding another way to lose. It seems like in another similar fashion, every game for them, it seems like has the same type of script in what they do. This time, Kirk Cousins able to get it done with being 21 of 35, 197, 2 touchdowns, and interception. But yeah, played good football. Bijan Robinson was phenomenal as a runner and as a pass catcher. So we know that he's a baller, but really good performance by Kirk Cousins. Definitely agree, big guy.
Last one for me, that last night's game, that was cool. It was fun. It was a good watch. And man, Drake Maye.
Yes.
He became the man in the second half of that game. Just the throws. Gosh, he doesn't even flinch when people are around him in the pocket. Maybe it's because he's bigger than everybody. That might help.
That helps, definitely.
Did you see the little thing about his brothers before the game or anything? I think it was before the game.
Yeah, I've seen a bunch of stuff about him and his brothers this whole season. So, yeah, I'm sure it was similar how they just kicked the crap out of him when he was younger.
Yeah, they beat him up a little bit, made him tough, and, whatever. And, God, man, they got a lot of big dudes in that family, that's for sure. But, yeah, Drake Maye, I just think his running, he can hang in the pocket like almost nobody else in the NFL, and he makes the downfield throws look easy.
Right.
We've said all these things, but, man, we saw it all again. They're in a rough situation. You're down in Baltimore. They got to win to try to find a way to get in the playoffs, which is amazing. They're still in the playoff hunt for the Baltimore Ravens. But Drake Maye, once again, man, he came through for him. And, hey, Josh McDaniels he must every once in a while when Drake comes to the sideline, he goes, now listen, Tom, Coach, who are you talking to? Well, oh, sorry, Drake. I mean, damn. I mean, Josh is a hell of a coach and a hell of an offensive coordinator, good designer of plays, but it looks like, he's had a good life too with Tom Brady, and now he's got Drake Maye. Not bad, huh?
Well, that's really what I was thinking when I was watching that game last night, because there was a few plays. Drake Maye was sacked 3 times. He did have 2 fumbles on the game, lost one of them, and one kind of just lost his where he was in the field and how close the defender was on the one strip. But, luckily the Patriots defense played some pretty solid football in this game as the game continued to wear on. And thankfully, too, Todd Monken stopped running the football with Derrick Henry late in the game. So that helped. But, for Drake Maye, like I was just thinking, I'm like, man, like here we are for the New England Patriots. And big picture, I was just saying, like, well, everything that Drake Maye is doing right now looks very similar to all the years I grew up watching Josh McDaniels and that offense with Tom Brady, and just the play action passes, the easy completions over and over and over again. And, it's playing out again in real life, in real time again. Josh clearly he was destined to be a fantastic offensive coordinator. He was destined to be a fantastic offensive coordinator for the New England Patriots and what they're doing. And I also had the thought as I'm watching the game too, of just like, how great it is for the New England Patriots where, Mike Vrabel's essentially been groomed to be the head coach for them. We can go back to just when he's catching a touchdown pass against the Carolina Panthers in the Super Bowl when he's a player, and thinking like, there he was. That was the start of the whole process. Whether he knew he was going to be a coach or not, living that lifestyle with Brady, with Belichick, that whole dynasty, then deciding to become a coach, all of his experience, and now the head coach of the New England Patriots. And it's essentially the same damn team that they were during their dynasty run, but just with a little bit of a modern twist, a little bit more of a player-friendly approach, since Mike Vrabel's a former player.
Right.
But, I just think like for the Patriots, man, how fortunate it is that like they groomed this guy out of that dynasty to now start this whole thing over again. And really just super impressive and kind of jealous, honestly, of how lucky the Patriots fans got it right now.
Yeah, well, look, the Patriots knew they knew he was going to be a coach.
Right.
And when I interviewed him many times doing all those Patriot games, I'd say something. He goes, "No, I'm going to coach when I'm done playing." And I said, "Really? You sure? Whatever." And he goes, "Yeah." But I think he had it in his mind that he was going to be an assistant coach at Ohio State and live life like that. But he got in there and realized, wow, I'm pretty good at this and all that, and then whatever. And then he moved out, and look what's happened to him. So his first off, his presence, which I've said all this stuff before, but his presence catches your attention because he is one big damn dude. And you can see it in some of the things you see when they're at practice. He's out there, hitting people, doing stuff, and he takes a few lumps himself too from the guys. But yeah, he just connects to the players. I'll never forget that I'm down in Tennessee. I asked him a question. I don't know what it was. He goes, "Phil, it's about connecting with the players.
Right.
It's not about what I can draw up, So he's been that way for quite a few years, and it shows when you see the football team, and it shows in their play. Really, kind of shows in everything. I mean, hell, the way they coach, the design of everything. So good for New England. It's great for football. They're a fun watch, and we're going to see them in the playoffs. Yeah, and that's all the TVs I got, Matt. I don't think I got any more. I'm sure you're tired of it. That's
I'm shocked that you didn't have this guy on your list. That's Justin Herbert, Phil. What the hell are you talking about? He was 23 of 29 for 300 yards and 2 touchdowns. I know it was against the crappy Dallas Cowboys secondary. Quentin Johnson had a great game, 4 catches for 104 yards and a touchdown. Just a reminder, too, this is Sims Complete on the Bleed Sports Network, brought to you by FanDuel. But yeah, Justin Herbert. I mean, come on, man. I don't care if they lose in the damn wild card, and that he is one of the better quarterbacks in the league. And it doesn't even matter if he has a healthy O-line or if he has a banged up left hand or whatever. This dude is an absolute baller and is literally just like crushing it on his side of the football for this football team. Their defense is legit. There's no doubt about it, but he is just a stud. And he's been so impressive these past 2 weeks.
He is. I didn't forget about him. I thought I didn't want to do too many because he'll complain. But yeah, I had my eye on Justin Herbert. Every time I looked over, I saw and touchdown. I mean, man. I've never seen a guy just kind of hold it with one arm and just make so many dynamic throws.
Body's all over him, and he still completes the football. It's it's unbelievable. And that was kind of the theme that I think we saw a lot the other day, right? It's just that, like, as we get into late football, the guys who can throw as people are literally hanging on them, that's the difference. And that's why measurables and size and physical, just measurables that you have, right, are so important when you're evaluating these quarterbacks, right? And why, a lot of the quarterbacks that we see going into the postseason are these big, strong, athletic dudes, right, that can do that because of these collapsed boxes by these better pass rushing football teams late in the year.
Yeah, man, that'll be one thing when it comes out with, the draft and all that stuff or whatever. I think you're exactly right. I think there is a certain look, size that they really want, and it's becoming more and more evident that's what you need.
Yeah.
And, I'm throwing a name around. I just saw Colin Cowherd go through this whole thing, and I went, wow, that was everybody that wasn't quite in the realm of what he was putting out there, they struggle. Right. And the game they're just not big enough to have great success sometimes.
Right.
If you're going to be a smaller quarterback, you got to have 1 or 2 traits that are going to overcome the fact that you're not 6'3", 220 or whatever.
Yeah.
And, and we do see that. Kyler Murray, his first couple years, come on, he was a human highlight. It was bing, bong, boom. He could, but quarterbacks, as I've said, they get a little slower the next year, and the defense gets a little faster.
Right.
And they keep talking about you got to run. Well, you got to move around. And if you have to run to get a first down because they make you because the pocket's there, you can run through it. That's great, but I think you're definitely onto something there, and we'll talk about that during the offseason with all these quarterbacks we're going to talk about.
Definitely had a great weekend and got a great 2 weeks left of the season here with a lot of division matchups to figure out who is going to be in the playoffs. And, you know, some teams that still have an opportunity to have home field advantage and all that in certain situations. So like the San Francisco 49ers. So still a lot of things to be determined. This is a great time of the year for the NFL. A lot of teams are right there, and some are going to make it, some aren't. And it's going to be just these, you know, these few plays here and there, which separates right the good, the bad from the ugly. Yeah, can't wait for it, big guy. So
yeah, the league is just, you know, it's crazy.
Right.
I mean, the Baltimore Ravens have the best roster in football. That's all I heard during the offseason. And hell, I bought into it too. Yeah, they're pretty good, but it hasn't come through. And it's just, you can get upset. And, you know, sometimes you just got to play to the very end of the game, but you didn't expect that because you're playing what's considered one of the bad teams in the NFL.
Right.
So nothing surprises me anymore. Man, there's just so many good players, and the game is fast as hell. And it's it's going to be hard to see a team do what Kansas City did, even to get to the Super Bowl. Philadelphia has the greatest chance of all. This could be, if they made it this year, it'd be 3 out of 4 years. Is that right? Does that sound right?
Yes, correct.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, I get asked all the time, who do you think the best team in the NFL is? I go, man, I have no clue. I thought it was Baltimore for sure before the season, and that went down the drain pretty quick.
Yeah, you were wrong about that one, and that's okay. A lot of people were. They were the darlings coming into this season. It just hasn't panned out that way. And, of course, Lamar Jackson banged up, a little bit more injuries, got nicked up with his back injury there. So we'll see how that plays out. Tyler Huntley, I thought, played extremely well in his absence. But, yeah, Baltimore just not clicking really right now, and especially offensively. They just, you know, seem to be just a little off this season. But we'll see if they can make a playoff run. This is Sims Complete, a part of the Believe Sports Network, brought to you by FanDuel. He's Phil Sims. I'm Matt Sims. Happy holidays to everybody. Enjoy the time with your families. And we got some good games going on for Christmas. Well, you know, we anticipated them to be some really good games. We'll see how they actually pan out, because some teams dealing with some injuries and things of that nature. But nonetheless, we'll be entertaining, and we'll learn that much more about those teams playing. But that's all we got for Sims Complete. We'll be back next time.